In today's educational video, I'm going to talk about your options with respect to your workplace pension. Say you've worked at your employer now for many years, and now you're fortunate to have accumulated a pension. You're now retiring or leaving your employer. What are your pension options? Well, broadly speaking, you have the option to leave your pension as is, but many Canadians decide to transfer their accumulated pension amount to a locked-in retirement account known as a LIRA. So what is a LIRA? First and foremost, it is a registered investment account. As such, you have the option to name beneficiaries such as your spouse, your children, or your estate. But it's a different account than your RSP, and it's quite similar, in fact, in that the funds can grow tax sheltered for years in an account that's in your name until at which time you draw an income. Then that income is taxed as T4 income, just like it would be if you drew an income from your RSP or your RIF in retirement. Now, each province has its own LIRA regulations, and your options differ, but when you may draw that retirement income or access those dollars. For instance, in Ontario, the earliest you may draw an income is age 55, whereas an RSP has no such age limitations. I'll touch on some of the retirement aspect here in a moment. Now, while you're working, there are two broad types of workplace pensions: a defined contribution plan and a defined benefit pension plan. A defined contribution pension plan is quite popular in the private sector. While you're working, you're making your contributions to your plan, and your employer will match those contributions. That's very similar to a group RSP. But now, as the plan is held with an insurance company, like Great West Life, Canada Life, Manulife, you have a list of basically a menu of investment options to select from. At retirement, you're now going to draw an income based on the accumulated value of those investments inside your plan. And your income can be variable then based on your plan's changing value. A defined benefit pension plan is popular in the public sector, such as OMERS and the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. At retirement, you're going to draw an income based on some formula that is based on your years of service and based on your salary level. Your retirement income is defined and guaranteed by the pension provider, but it's important to note that defined benefit plans in retirement have their restrictions, such as named beneficiaries. If you pass away in retirement, your spouse may then continue collecting your pension, but typically at a reduced rate, such as 60%. But then upon your spouse's eventual passing, there is no residual amount of money that is going to be paid to your kids or to your estate. This is basically what you give up for the benefit of having a defined guaranteed income in retirement. And this is a major factor for clients I've helped over the years when they're trying to decide whether or not to transfer their plan to a LIRA, because they do wish to pass assets on to the next generation. Now, in each case, if you leave your employer, you will have the option to port or transfer your plan's accumulated value to a LIRA. Why would someone want to transfer their pension to a LIRA? The decision to transfer a defined contribution pension plan is pretty straightforward. It's simply a tax-free transfer of your plan's accumulated value to a new registered account called a LIRA. As I mentioned, with a LIRA, you have the option to name beneficiaries such as your spouse, your children, or your estate, so that either before or in retirement, if you pass away, the full value of your account can then be rolled over tax-free to your spouse's RSP or RIF, where he or she can draw an income from those assets. You might have noticed that the LIRA then becomes unlocked to your spouse in that it is transferred to their regular RSP or RIF. If you name your kids or your estate as beneficiary, the value of that account upon your passing becomes taxable, just like a regular asset such as your RSP or your RIF. Okay, so you've made the transfer. Now the money is inside your LIRA. It needs to be invested. Through a full-service wealth manager like our team, we have a full suite of investment options to choose from, such as dividend-paying companies, bonds, GICs, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, and even guaranteed income annuities from life insurance companies. The LIRA will continue to grow tax sheltered then, and you have the flexibility still to rebalance your account through buying and selling different investments all along the way. With a defined benefit pension plan, though, the decision to transfer to a LIRA can be a little bit more complicated and involved. First of all, it's very important to understand all of the guarantees and options that your defined benefit plan provides. If you elect to transfer your defined benefit plan's accumulated value, this is known as your commuted value. And this is the fresh amount of money that is transferred from your plan to a LIRA, and that money needs to be invested. And when transferring your defined benefit plan to a LIRA, you're really giving up the guaranteed income stream that the pension provider promises to pay in favor of allocating that money among some various investments. But again, you may select guaranteed investments within your LIRA if that's your comfort zone, such as GICs or guaranteed income annuities, with the flexibility of doing so now or at some point again in the future. Or you may even decide to lock in a portion of your assets into these guaranteed investments while still maintaining a portion of your account in regular traditional investments such as dividend-paying companies or mutual funds or exchange-traded funds, for instance. Remember that with the LIRA, this money is now yours and you can name beneficiaries. You might be wondering what a LIRA looks like in retirement. In Ontario, for instance, you can begin drawing an income from your LIRA as early as age 55, as I was just saying, but you must do so in the year you turn 72 and then draw an income each year going forward. This is really the same as RSP and RIF rules. Now, you do this by simply rolling the value of your LIRA to a locked-in retirement income fund known as a LIF or an LRIF. And this is also a new account where you would then could name the same beneficiary if you choose. Each year, based on your age, there'll be a minimum percentage amount that you will need to draw as an income, and there is a maximum percentage amount that you are allowed to draw. These minimums and maximums increase each year with age. For instance, in Ontario, again, at age 65, the minimum and maximum is 4% and 7.4%, while at age 80, these amounts are 6.8% and 12.8%. So each year, this band of minimums and maximums will just gradually increase, and those percentages are based on the January 1st value of your LRIF each year going forward. That determines how much you are to take out of your account, again, which is taxable income. There's pros and cons with making any decision, specifically with this, from an estate planning to tax planning to understanding your guaranteed investment income options, through a full financial plan, which we provide clients through our Income 65 planning process. We want to look at all your options based on the facts, what you're giving up, what you're potentially getting, how to best secure that for you and your family. That we need to look at all the options to make the best decision for your family going forward. If I can help in any way, of course, just please reach out, and thanks for tuning in.